Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Abba, an international student from Ghana studying in Canada. If you are an old subscriber, thank you for clicking this video and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be talking about the changes that have been made in Canada's immigration processes. And if you've been following the news, you have noticed that they are constantly making changes in the number of temporary residents in Canada. And in order to meet this target, they've been reducing the number of study permits, the number of spousal permits, the number of work permits, in order to be able to meet this target by 2026. So in this video, I'll be talking about some of the new changes that have been made recently on 18th of September. So if this is the kind of video that you like, I would encourage you to watch to the end and then get informed about the new updates so that you can make your plans accordingly and be strategic about your immigration process. So before this, it was possible for you to come into Canada with a visitor's visa and then convert that visitor's visa to a worker's permit. But a lot of employers have been misusing that, so they have made adjustments to that policy. Okay, and then they're also saying that we are reforming the international student program, tightening eligibility requirements for temporary foreign workers, enforcing employer compliance more strictly, and making labor market impact assessments more rigorous to mitigate fraud and more. So the first policy change that was being announced is a reduction of the number of study permits by 2025. For 2025, they are reducing the number of study permits that are being issued to 437,000. So this would enable them to be able to stabilize the number of intakes for 2026. So if you were contemplating on doing a 1 year master's program to bring your spouse to Canada, I think you have to re-strategize and then look at another course that would make you eligible to bring your spouse to Canada. It doesn't end there. They are also limiting the work permit eligibility later this year to spouses of foreign workers in management or professional occupations or in sectors with labor shortages under Canada's work permit programs. So they also went on further to talk about the asylum claims that are made by people, and they said like many countries, Canada is experiencing more asylum claims as the number of displaced people worldwide continues to grow, and that contributes to growing temporary resident volumes. So the second policy change is about the postgraduate work permit. Earlier this year, they made a change, but they've gone further to explain this further by saying that they are updating the postgraduate work permit program this fall to better align with immigration goals and labor market needs. So since we are still in September, we are looking forward to another news which would help us understand this better, because there's been a lot of confusion about who qualifies to get the postgraduate work permit. So fingers crossed, we are looking forward to the next news that is going to come in relation to the postgraduate work permit. And the second one is also about limiting work permit eligibility later this year to spouses of master's degree students to only those whose program is at least 16 months in duration. So earlier this year, the news was that it's only those who are doing master's program, PhD program, and certain bachelor degree programs that qualify to have their spouse to gain workers permit in Canada. The recent news is that it's only those whose master's program is more than 16 months that would qualify to have their spouse get workers permit in Canada. It's a bit confusing because that means that at first, if you were doing a master's program that is 1 year, you are covered in this policy, but then they are making changes and saying that your program must be more than 16 months to qualify for spousal work permits. And they're also going to review their visa decision-making system to be able to detect fraud and reduce the number of non-genuine visitors. And thirdly, they are going to explore more measures to further strengthen the visa integrity. There are also a few things that you should take note of so that you'll be able to plan well in the future and know what would favor you according to your goals. Okay, so they said that graduates from programs at public colleges will remain eligible for a postgraduate work permit of up to 3 years if they graduate from a field of study linked to occupations in long-term shortage. If you are thinking of studying in Canada and bringing your or letting your spouse join you later, our advice, even we don't have the full list of in-demand jobs, but if you're thinking of doing your master's, you have to start looking at areas that are in demand and do courses in relation to that. And these may be the trade sector, the health sector, even the IT sector, because these are popularly known to be in demand. So the next policy, which a lot of people that I've spoken to find very annoying, is that as part of changes to the PGWP program, all applicants will be required to demonstrate a minimum language proficiency in English or French. And this would increase the ability to transition to permanent residence and adapt to changing economic conditions. And then a lot of people are saying, because before you even get admission to a school in Canada, you have to either write IELTS or show proof of English proficiency. And that is a requirement for you to be able to gain admission. Why is it that after I've shown my English proficiency, or I've even written IELTS and gained admission to the school, and I have studied for 1 year or 2 years, I now have to write IELTS to prove my English proficiency? The interesting thing too is that when you are applying for PR, you need to write IELTS as well. So we are hoping that at least that exams that you write for your PGWP, you can still use that same results to apply for PR in the end. If that is it, that's fine. If you read further, they are saying that this would allow students increase their ability to transition to permanent residence and adapt to changing economic conditions. Yep. And they went on further to say that this will be required for anyone who is applying for PGWP on or after November 1st, 2024. So that means that from now to November, if you're applying for PGWP, you don't need to write IELTS. But if you are applying for IELTS after November, then you're required to write these exams. If your English test expires before you apply for PR, then you definitely have to write this English test before you can apply for PR, because as part of the requirements for PR, you need to write this English test. So the next policy is that between 2025 and 2026, the study permit intake cap would include master's and doctoral students, that is PhD students, who will now have to submit a provincial or territorial attestation letter. So before, there was an announcement made that college students or undergrads need to submit an attestation letter. And this didn't include master's students or PhD students, but with this new policy, they are including master's students and PhD students. The way the policies keep on changing every now and then. I think if you need to apply, if you want to come to Canada, you should, or if you have any plans, you should do it as soon as possible, because they keep on like adding on and on to the policies. They're also reserving 12% to this category of students, which is the masters and then PhD students. And this is because they recognize the benefits that they bring to the Canadian labor market, which is a good thing. They also made mention of the cost of living requirements for study permit applicants, which was updated to better reflect the true cost of living. So there have been like an upgrade in the amount of funds that you need to prove if you are applying for a study permit in Canada. Alright, so that's it for the new policies that have been made by the immigration minister. It's causing a lot of confusion here and there, a lot of discussions here and there, but then I advise that they are going to make new updates in the coming days. So I advise that let's keep our hopes high, let's continue to pray and believe that whatever policy that is going to be made will benefit us. And if you've not yet applied, read more about it, ask questions, and then be strategic about the course that you choose and then how many years you are doing and all that. At the end of the day, all these policies are going to benefit us. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. Share it with your loved ones, share it with someone who is planning to study in Canada, so that they're updated on the new policies that have been made, so that they can plan accordingly and then be strategic, so that they can benefit from these new policies instead of the policies being against us after so much investment. Okay, thank you so much, and then see you in my next video. Bye.